Andy was talking, I couldn't help but think of packing. I mean, when you go on a trip, you have to think about all the things that you're gonna need, and you'll pack up all those things. In fact, my family, when we were evacuated recently, I was thinking about all the things that we need and trying to pack clothes and different things like our toothbrushes and toothpaste. But I quickly realized that there were a lot of things that we had that we wanted or liked, but they weren't things that we needed. And I think that's a big difference. In fact, I think the world makes us feel like there's a lot that we need and that we have to spend our lives packing, collecting things. In fact, I think a lot of times the world tells us that we need to collect a lot of things in order to be used, to be needed, to have purpose. Like friends, we need to be popular and have lots and lots of friends. Or maybe we need to have the best toys, and any toy that's out there we need to get. Or we need to have lots of money, or a really, really big house, or fancy cars. Or maybe the next and the latest video game or cell phone. We might even feel like we have to collect talents and be the best at everything in order to have purpose. Some of us might even take that thought and think about it the way God sees us, that God wants us to collect all of these things. And those things are required, that we need to have all of these things in order to even be used by God. But you know what? That is the way the world thinks. And just like Andy was talking about today, Jesus was out in the wilderness and the evil one, he was trying to even make Jesus rethink God's plan and purpose, as if Jesus needed to use his powers to get something different than what God's plan was. You see, the evil one was trying to get Jesus not to trust God, not to trust in his plan. Right when he said, if you're really the Son of God, just turn those stones into bread and stop being hungry. That's kind of like us trying to collect all of these gifts, talents, things of this world to find purpose, to live, to feel like we have meaning in our own lives. You see, I think what Jesus shows us is that when we choose to follow him, when we choose to put our trust in him, we are no longer a citizen of this world, but we're now a citizen of heaven. God calls us and says we are his children. We are a child of God. And so now no longer do we need to try to collect these things. No longer do we have to rely on our own strength and talents and powers. But instead, Jesus says, I don't need any of those things. I just need you to trust me. In fact, when we rely on these things, it's like there are idols. We're putting them before God, and it's like we're worshiping them instead of worshiping him. And Jesus says, I just need you to trust me. Put your eyes on me. Focus on me. Remember who you are. You are not a child of the world. You are a child of God. You are a citizen of heaven. So I think today, some of us, we need to think, are we putting our trust in these things? Do we worry more about the things that we collect on this world instead of putting our trust in how God sees us and how he can use us? A lot of us today, we need to let go of those things. We need to say goodbye to those things and instead ask God to help us. So today, think about, what are the things that you're putting your trust in? How are you sort of promoting and making the things of this world more important than the things that God says? Are you living like you're a person of the world, or are you living like you are a citizen of heaven, a true child of God? Think about that today.